Coach, what impressed you most about the way that you were able to close that game out today?
Yeah, well, obviously the last quarter holding them to 7 points was a pretty big ticket. Look, the game really wasn't going our way early. They got Wesley was going, and then Webster decided to get going in the third. So it was great that how we stayed with it, and we really got some energy from the guys from the bench. They were fantastic. That we made a couple of changes, and they played outstanding.
Talk to me about Clint's game tonight.
Yeah, look, not only he shot the ball well, but I think 2 weeks before he's been practicing really well and being an aggressive mindset and making people guard him. You know, he's got a great shot on him, that he's tall and he can get the release off pretty much any time he wants. So I thought he was really aggressive out there, but also fighting through screens defensively. He was first class out there, and so happy for him because he's been working towards this, and probably a couple of games hasn't gone his way, but he's certainly been working really hard out there.
And Reece on Sunday as well to come in when they hadn't played in the first half, and I think what kind of impact did you get from them?
Well, I didn't want to take them both off. I think Webster hit 3 out of 3, maybe. I think he went 1 of 6 on Sunday towards the end. It's just we had to up it. You know, when he gets his eye in, we're trying to deny him the ball, and Mitch was obviously worn down there a little bit, so it's great to know that Sunday could come on and play that, and he's a little bit aggressively offensively, but that'll come. With Reece, I thought Reece was outstanding. His development the last 12 months is really off the charts, and to have that mindset, you don't get into the first half and come in and play. He did that in Brisbane, and he knows, if he plays well, I'll stay with him, and he did a fantastic job there.
When you turn to that lineup, I think you guys were down 6 or 8 with a couple of minutes left in the third. What's your instruction to those guys when you bring in Sunday, when you bring in Reece? What are you looking for in that lineup?
Well, there's just the energy that they brought. Defensively, and Reece is pretty long with his length in the rebounding area. I think he blocked a couple of shots and got some hands on some rebounds, and he's a great shooter. He can really stretch the floor. So it was more so of we needed some energy. I kind of felt the squad on at the time was kind of running in mud, and so we needed a spark, and they certainly sparked us.
How did you see Mitch's game tonight? Obviously had to carry a bit more of the load with Damo out. How did you assess that?
Yeah, well, I thought he was great. He was, how many minutes did he play? 27, so that's way up there. I thought he could have been a little bit more aggressive to the ring, and which is a strength of his, so just picking the moments out there. So it was really good one for him to get that under the belt in a tight contest against quality opposition, and see how he goes. But he's smart, he's tough, and back him every day of the week.
So on your finishes, you haven't lost the second half in your first 6 games, so it must be pleasing the way that this whole squad is, and the whole team is seeing games out and keeping in the moment.
Yeah, well, we think we're pretty deep, and we've got some guys that can, flat out go. So it's good to be able to call on them and get that response. We've been probably Bryce and Tarico and Angus last week, and so the bench didn't get that much of a run, and then tonight it was their turn and they really stepped up. So that's a pleasing part of it. And we pride ourselves on fitness out there to keep playing at a high level for the 4 quarters, and we've been able to do that, and hopefully that maintains that.
And they took the game right up to you. It's like you led it every quarter, but there were times when you were 6-8 points down. So to keep that focus, not just to the end in the last quarter, but the end of every quarter, and be leading at every change is...
Yeah, well, I thought the third quarter, we're down by 7 or 8. And it was really, they had the tempo of the game. They had, Wesley in the post, and Webster was going off there as well. I thought they really had a tempo. We changed it up and went to some zone stuff and tried to get that back, and our guys got a roll on. I think Bryce got a foul on the shot, and then Reece hit a corner 3, so we got to back the lead and really got the foot back for that tempo of the game to start the 4th quarter.
Clint, what was the thing that you liked most about that lineup we talked about with yourself and Reece and Sunday, Wags and Bryce as well? What was the thing that you thought you guys did well to get you back in that game?
Trev said it's just energy. That's our role when we get out there, and we got to try and take whatever's happened out there before we get out there we got to try take it to that next level. And I think we clicked today. We maybe missed some shots, but I think defensively we're working for each other and helping each other out. And I think at times we need to clean up their O boards, and it'll make the job easier on ourselves. So we're not chasing it around too much, but it's just pure energy for us to go out there.
And from a personal point of view today, how much confidence do you take seeing the ball go in the hole, shooting it like you did today?
Yeah, confidence is a hell of a thing, and but now you back it up. You can't just have a one gamer where you do that. The challenge is to back it up next week, do it in a double header. Maybe you don't get the chances to shoot it as much, but you still got to be as aggressive, and it'll open up other guys. So that's the thing. I got to back it up and be consistent with it.
Did it help from a personal point of view today? You came in pretty early in the game, I think 4 or 5 minutes into the game. Did that sort of help you get into your flow a bit earlier? Did that have any sort of impact, do you think?
Yeah, maybe. Usually I'm coming in towards the end of the quarter, start of the second, and yeah, maybe that had something to do with it. I was probably engaged a lot more. Shit, I'm 5 minutes in here. I need to be switched on, otherwise I could be coming straight back out. But I try to take in the same mentality that I have all week, be aggressive when I'm out there, and it just happened to fall for me today, so I've got to keep that going.
What's the message from the coaching staff to you, Clint? I mean, it's such a tough role to have to come in and gun, and if you don't pull it off, you might be straight back out again. What kind of message do they try and give to you week in, week out about how to execute it?
You can't let that affect you. My job's to be aggressive. I missed 2 shots. I got to have no conscience. And probably 3 years ago, that was my killer. I didn't miss shots. The doubt creeps in, and I'm using this as a springboard to maintain no conscience. I got to be aggressive. I got to shoot the ball. That's what I'm out there to do. Because if I'm not shooting it, then probably not much point me being out there at sometimes. But I got to stay aggressive and let it fly.
Trevor, without the league's best defensive player, how do you think they covered him?
I think we did the last quarter. I didn't like how we started the game, got them really comfortable, and I thought they hit the first couple of threes. And so that's, it's a big cover. We can't replace Damo. That's no one's going to replace that. We just have to be the best that we can be. And I thought we got better as the game went on together.
And a bit of free throw.
Yeah.
Extra shots this week.
Yeah, I thought we missed some easy ones, didn't we? So it was, very rarely that you see Tommy and Bryce go a submarine hole between them. But yeah, we got enough. We got him into foul trouble early, but we didn't certainly capitalise on it.
What do you take out of that? I think there's an 8-21 foul count. What do you take out of that as how aggressive you were in the way that you played?
Yeah, I think we learnt that from, probably the most aggressive team is Adelaide. They take it at it, and you get to the basket as hard as you can, and you get rewarded. The aggressiveness will get rewarded. And I thought, they did the same thing. We took a couple of charges. I think Tommy took a couple of charges on there. It was really good defence. So hard enough to coach, mate. I try to help the referees out there, but they don't listen to me.
What about Brisbane this week? You already met them twice before. To get 3 games in such early period of time in the schedule, what do you make? Do you prefer that?
It is what it is. It doesn't matter what I prefer, but they've got a new import, so I think they play tonight, do they? For tomorrow, tonight or tomorrow. So they've got a new import in there, obviously getting rid of G. And the last game they bet us up there, they shot the ball pretty well. So we've got some work to do to get that.
Thanks, guys.
Sorry, just quickly, what this game sort of meant for Sunday going forward for the team, and how he sort of then can fit in.
Yeah, look, I'm very clear, and I think Sunday he can play in the National League. I think he's capable, and he just didn't get an opportunity. And he was out there in a pressure cook situation on one of the hottest guys in the league, and what he did out there was first class. And he'll get a little bit more comfortable. Obviously, nerves in there offensively, but he'll get a little bit more comfortable out there the next little period. But he's certainly a quality player and a person.
Great.
Thanks, guys.